friends, welcome to my channel. Today's violin lesson is going to be on the March in D major by Johann Sebastian Bach from the Barber series, Volume 1, Barber Solos for Young Violinists. Very excellent series. Now, let's take a look at the piece. It says Tempo de Marche. That doesn't tell you much. It's going to have something martial, two sharps, key of D major. You can tell by look at the last note of the piece. Think about it. What would be the relative minor of D major, right? D. So if B were the last note, you'd say, oh, maybe it's B minor. But in this case, it's clearly D. Cut time. We're feeling the piece in two. Bum, 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 ba, da, dun, dun, da, da, da. All right. So I always like on all these videos to encourage you to think outside the box. Don't just look at the music and say, oh, they have all the knowledge. It's like reading a book. If you accept every word that's in the book, you might be, leading yourself astray. The same thing with music. Look at what the editors have put in and say, well, maybe so you try it the way. Okay, for example, they have an up bow to start the piece. Nothing particularly terrible about it, but my first reaction was, well, I really like to have up, down as often as possible. That if I want to do a lift, it's more natural on an upstroke than a downstroke. So how does it play out if I start the piece down bow? See, it sort of encourages the feeling of bum, ba, da, da, dum, bum. Now, you could say, well, I want to keep it strictly in tempo. Okay, fine, then don't play it that way. But for me, I like to have that sense of an upbeat. And I can do anything at the end there. I reversed the bowing. I could do it either way. You have just how do you feel? Be engaged. That's the whole key to playing music. Whatever you feel, express it. Don't play, that's totally boring, right? That's what generically might be called playing like a student. So playing like a student means that you're not engaged yourself, your own emotions. We want all these emotions involved. So, and I notice down below it says piano. Okay, fine. Giocoso, joking. Have some fun with it, right? So. For me, starting up bow, it's more difficult to have fun than starting down bow. To me, that's giocoso. This is not giocoso. It's like even my body language. When I start up bow, my body language is kind of down. When I start down bow, my body language is up, and that to me is more giocoso. All right, let's take a look at the second half. We can do the same thing. Start down. Now notice here they suggest starting forte, kind of hard on the open E string. Now I made a little adjustment on the bowing in measure 12 because I wanted to have that up, down. So I did a slur on the first two eighth notes. I was coming, let's see, how did I come there? So you can do those little things. Who's going to notice, right? Now we come to the next section. This is an interesting passage, usually quite difficult for my students, where we start off with a C natural, the C sharp in the key signature, C natural, and a G natural. That's fine. So we have the same attitude, if you will, posture of the second finger. But then we have to go to C sharp. Oh, and then we come back to G natural, and then back to C sharp. So you see that little technical thing, that's probably why the piece was chosen for the book. Now in bar 16, I do a slur. So I get back to up, down. And if you were playing it the other, let me see how it works the other way. There we go again, that same downward feeling. So I would say this passage is the most difficult. You want to just practice slow, be really aware. G natural, now C sharp, G natural, C sharp. And you notice I have the A down, third finger, and the second finger goes right next to it. And then back to G natural again. Oh, wonderful. That's a great passage. And then back to C sharp. So you see how the second finger is back, forward, as it's crossing across strings. Just takes a sort of an awareness. Okay, so let's go ahead. I slur again. And of course, this alternate fingering, staying down in first position, would be like for a rank beginner. I mean, you got to play this up into third position. And play the high D with the fourth finger. You'll notice my violin's still a little squeaky. I got these new strings. They're getting better. And it shows you when you put a new set of strings on, you have to be very patient. I'm trying to be patient. I'm frustrated, but they're tight. These are Ava Perazzi. Very good strings. I know that if I could just live through the play-in, and it's been a week now, I have to be patient. You know, I have to give them at least a month. And then they'll loosen up, because I expect these strings, these are really wonderful strings, they'll last me a full year. But you know, you can't start perfect and have them stay perfect. You know, if I put a set of strings on that maybe sounds good within a couple of days, then I figure they're probably going to wear out within a month and a half. That's about all I get, and you're still paying a lot of money for it. So Ava's usually last me a year. So that's my issues. I apologize for the little scratchy sound, but you know, what could you know, it is what it is. So that's all I have on this piece. It's a wonderful little piece. Just looking to make sure there's nothing else. There's a few dynamics. I don't find the dynamics in this piece is that important. I mean, you have to put a little energy in when you start. I mean, it says piano. What's that mean? I mean, that's not real giocoso. I mean, this kind of a piece, I think, going to have a little bit more in-between dynamics, where I start a little louder, and then try to emphasize that little hairpin in there, and then when we get it, of course, and then this, as I said, I can't play too loud on an open E string. And then my tendency is to not do that diminuendo that's in the music, but then do a subito piano. So you see, the dynamics pretty much mezzo forte to forte, somewhere in that range. You choose for yourself, depending on your instrument, the strings you've got, all that. You can make more dynamics if you like, but a march, my goodness, you know, it's not going to have that much soft. It's going to be mostly a louder piece. Okay, thanks so much for listening. I hope this is helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. See you later.